Well, I think it's been playing out for a number of years. Actually, it's kind of not really too new for us. We're Channel 5 have got our VOD player across I think it's about 13 platforms now, across games consoles, tablets, mobile phones, the PC itself. So lots of what are being described as second screen devices. And I think that it's obviously quite an exciting area for us. Particularly it's a space where advertisers are really interested in being in that space. But we are, it's probably being a little bit overhyped in terms of what, the consumer's actually doing. We've seen, it depends on what sort of content, but it's probably not as big as kind of the perception is in the industry of how many people are actually watching television on these devices. And what the changes that we've seen over the last kind of couple of years is that the PC has definitely been in decline quite considerably, about 50% decline of viewing on a PC of television content. But what's been on the rise is the Apple, the tablet devices, where we've seen quite a big increase. But nevertheless, it's still only a fraction of all audience being viewed. So I think we have to keep it in perspective. It's just a supplementary, tool for us to reach more people. As we know, television viewing or commercial television viewing has been on the increase for the last 10 years. There's certainly we're seeing no decline of that. Linear television viewing is up 50%. In fact, if you look at Channel 5's audience from 2002, it's still exactly where it was back then. It's kind of very, very stable. So I do think we have to get these things in perspective. They sometimes can be a bit overhyped, but it's exciting. Well, I think any media company in 2013 that doesn't put collaboration at the core of its commercial strategy is not in the right place. Unfortunately, there's many different routes of entry into media now. There's many different forms of media, and just with television, there's many things you can connect with television, which that sort of environment leads to, it has to be a collaborative culture, because we have to take risks, we have to take leaps of faith to get things done. And certainly in my team's culture, that's right at our core of what we want to do. So I'd be very surprised if there were any media owners saying they didn't want to be collaborative.
But do you think media agencies on this side are getting there?
Yeah, I do. I think today is a perfect sign of collaboration. I mean, media agencies, taking the time to work with media owners. Today's a great example of it. I think they do. I think the big questions are really around, getting the objectives the same. And some of the big questions out there at the moment about how media agencies are being remunerated and what they should be remunerated for I agree that debate needs to move on to get that aligned, so that if we're all aligned and we're all trying to achieve the same thing, it will mean that collaboration can work a lot better and a lot smoother. We've got lots of exciting things coming out at 5 in the next 6 months. I think what we're really interested in looking at is getting closer to media agencies and advertisers in the formation of content for our channels. And that means maybe restructuring some of the ways in which traditionally we've worked in the past to do with the funding of content, and getting advertisers into that process a lot earlier, so that we can actually try and get a bit more into product placement and building partnerships and collaborations integrated into the content as much as regulatory wise that we can do.
Brilliant.